Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff. And now, here's your host, Vince McMahon.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Tuesday Night Titans. This should be a very entertaining event for us all, I'm certain. Right now, however, I'd like to introduce to you, without a doubt, one of Her Majesty's crown jewels, Lord Alfred Hayes.
You always find something for me. Last time it was Idi Amin, so this time it was certainly an improvement. However, back to the program. What a fantastic program of events we have lined up this evening.
Big John Stud, he is awesome. You met him earlier.
Oh, gosh, I can never get over this man. I stood near him in the foyer, and I looked up, and this hulking great man was there, so huge, so vast. Big.
A monster if there ever was one. Also, as Lord Alfred Hayes mentioned, we will have with us Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff, a very special segment on Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff, as a matter of fact, and we will begin that segment when we return. Mr. Wonderful will be waiting for us. I'm looking forward to it. In a moment, we shall take you to a matchup involving Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff. Mr. Wonderful, that is. I'm sure he will take exception to that. Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff is indeed quite an athlete, whether or not you can pronounce his name correctly. And Paul Orndorff will be squaring off against yet another tremendous athlete in the World Wrestling Federation in Special Delivery Jones, and that is quite a matchup.
Aha. Both men, for them, an important match, especially for S.D. Jones, who's been trying to establish himself as a world championship contender for so long.
All right, let's go to the tape.
Well, not really being warmly received by the crowd this week. Mr. Wonderful, Paul Orndorff, tremendously... Oh, look at there. Paula. And the minute this man sees that sign or that sign, watch him explode. He becomes livid. He cannot stand it. Orndorff to beat. SD Special Delivery Jones. Listen to this crowd. The chant of Paula. And here you see Orndorff go absolutely berserk. Sound of the bell of this match officially underway, and once again we see something that has become quite typical of Paul Orndorff. Stall tactics. I can't believe that it's going to be nothing more than a psych job on his opponent, and in this case, this week, Special Delivery Jones. Hopefully, that robe is going to come off, and we're going to get this match underway.
Mr. Wonderful, don't you know that?
I heard it from everybody, Paula.
Ladies and gentlemen, thousands on their feet, and Paul Orndorff has let his emotions get away. His temper may do him in this particular bout against this man, SD Special Delivery Jones. He has lost control, Lord Alfred Hayes.
He did. As a matter of fact, what happened there was his tactics went against him. Instead of him out psyching S.D. Jones, which I've never seen happen before in any case, Jones did the thing to him. Now look at the situation.
Well, these fans are on their feet, and certainly the crowd favorite is going to be Jones. And Orndorff is out of control, totally out of control. You know, with the tremendous experience, the physical credentials, and the vast working knowledge of wrestling, Paul Orndorff should be cool. He should be calculating. Because truly, if he can control himself, he is one of the best. in the World Wrestling Federation today. A couple of good moves. Knee lift followed by a couple of elbow drops. That last one very high, perhaps to the throat. Orndorff being admonished by the referee. Periodically, Orndorff would exchange a little dialogue, a few barbs with these fans at ringside. Now Orndorff taking the boots to Jones. Oh, and he rakes the laces across the face of the native of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Now across that top rope. Oh, come on.
Well, he's got his
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. What did he just say? Listen. The chant is deafening, Lord Hayes. Paula. All over this jam-packed arena.
Hey, knockout.
Oh, Southpaw Jones comes back. Closed fist, I am certain. Orndorff contending it was an open hand. Uh-oh, that may backfire. Well, Orndorff warned the possible sunset flip. But look at Jones come to life. Kick out with authority.
Both men have such tremendous recuperative powers and are so strong. What a match this is.
The resiliency is just unbelievable. Thumb from our vantage point to the throat of S.D. Jones on a part of Paul Orndorff. Orndorff to the right to the midsection and levels Jones, and now that boot across the throat, and the referee starts the count. He'd better break it or Orndorff will be disqualified. Watch this. Orndorff outside of the ring with an elbow. And another one. That one square to the jaw.
How you like it, huh?
Mr. Jones, did you hear that?
How you like it?
Apparently, nobody likes it too much. Oh, wow. I don't know what Orndorff had in mind, but I'll tell you what. Jones sure rearranged his game plan. Headbutt rocks Orndorff to the canvas.
Oh, just fantastic.
Oh, what a showing on the part of S.D. Jones. We have got a barn burner on our hands. Block. Power with a right. Oh, what a match.
Everybody on their feet, Gene, everybody.
Oh, slam into the turnbuckle. Orndorff's gone. Here's where Jones can capitalize. Oh. Well, no, that one should be barred. The pile driver. Oh. They should bar that one. Sooner or later, somebody is going to get hurt badly. The pile driver executed to perfection by this man right here, Paul Orndorff, getting the dupe over SD Special Delivery Jones. But I'll tell you, he had more than a fight on his hands.
Oh, he had Lady Luck by his side because SD Jones had his number on several occasions there.
Let's take a look and see. Now, Mr. Wonderful, this man right here, achieved victory this week in the World Wrestling Federation. All right. There is the elbow as Orndorff comes off the ropes to the back of the neck, and that virtually paralyzed S.D. Jones. Here is the setup, and this one executed to perfection. The pile driver, as nobody else can administer it.
Indeed, as Gene Okerlund said, Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff will indeed be a force to reckon with in many a day to come, perhaps in the World Wrestling Federation. One of the reasons I would suspect would be this man's training regimen, his technique. He really put something into it, Lord.
Oh, a most impressive victory. But Jones just had that one tiny error, and he paid dearly for it. A man trying to establish himself, it was a shame in a way.
All right, now let's go now and take a look at some of the dues Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff pays. He really trains hard. let's go to the videotape.
Obviously, all of y'all need some help, a lot of help. You'll never be like me no matter what happens. So don't get that in your mind. You'll never look like me. I have the most gorgeous body there is in professional wrestling today, in bodybuilding and whatever, everything. I'm the #1. So, I know you're all excited. You want to get close to Mr. Wonderful. You want to see Mr. Wonderful. Well, I'm here to try to help you. When I tell you to do something, do it. If I tell you what to eat, do it, because it's going to help you. Obviously, you need to quit eating. Obviously, you need to eat a little bit more. You need something. Everybody needs something. Tell you what you do. Go back over to the gym, get on the weights, go work out a little bit, get your sweat, and then I'm going to put you through a little workout and everything. I have to go change and get my stuff on now. See, you need a lot of work. Matter of fact, the best thing you can do is not even come into a gym. You're doing it all wrong, son. Stop, just get off the thing, man. Let me show you how to do it. I can't believe I come in here and waste my time and somebody won't even listen to me. This is the correct way of doing it. See that? See how I'm doing that? See how I'm resisting it going down? See that bicep? You gotta think about it, squeeze it. You gotta squeeze it. Squeeze it. Slow going down. Now that's how you get a perfect bicep, like I have. Try that, maybe that'll help you. Now, this guy's a little bit better. He's in a little bit better shape than you. You've been working out a little bit more, but you've got a long ways to go, a long ways. You gotta put some more beat on. Obviously, you're not using enough weight. My grandma can use that much weight. You need a haircut. Come on, clean your act up if you want to get serious about this. Put some more weight on here. Stop for a minute. Here. Okay, now let me see you do 10 reps. Come on. Grab the ground. Slow going down. Slow. Come on, you're wasting my time too. You got a long ways to go. Come on. You'll never be like me. Never, never, never. Let me show you. Let me show you too. Look here. Look. This is what the most wonderfulest body looks like. There's been a lot of hard work here. I've worked hard in a gym, and a lot of people try to have a body like this, but they never will. Never, never, never. Forget it. Don't shoot your goals that high. This is what a perfect bicep looks like. Right there is 22 inches of arm right there. A lot of work. A lot of people work very hard to get arms like that, but they never come close. Check it out right there, everybody. All you 8 to 5ers out there, all you common people, just check it out. And all you women that are ready to leave your husband for me, now you know why. That's why right there. Obviously, you can't walk and chew gum at the same time. Can't you put that together? Have you ever flown in an airplane or buckled your seatbelt up in the car? Have you? Huh? Don't you have any pride in yourself? No, you don't. You have no pride in yourself, because if you did, you wouldn't look like this. It's disgusting. I can't believe that you walk in here like that and look like this. But I'll try to help you. The only reason you come in here is just to see me anyway, Mr. Wonderful. That's the only reason you come in here. Let's try to work on your pecs. You know what a pec is? That's a pec, okay? We're gonna try to take some of this, and put it there, okay? Big pecs, that's what we want, big pecs. Your husband will love big pecs. Okay, grab this right here. Give me about 20 reps with it, okay? Push them up and think about what you're doing. Make them pecs work. Make them work. Yeah, that's right. Make them work. You know, this woman here is totally so far gone that I don't know if there's anything to be done for her or not, if you want to know the truth. She's so far overweight, but as I can see, she's got all her teeth. You know, most fat women that I know don't have teeth. She does have all her teeth, I will say that. Keep going, keep going. A few extra reps ain't gonna hurt you. But you know, it's one thing that a person, right there is a perfect example of a person that has no pride in their self. No pride in their self, no pride in their body. It's disgusting. I don't like it. I don't even like to be around people like this here. Keep going. It ain't gonna hurt you. Just keep going. Keep grunting them out. You need a lot of work. And you need to stay away from that table. You stay at the table. I'm sure the whole family's probably gone off and in bed asleep, and you're still sitting at the table eating. Am I right or wrong? I bet you go up and down them steps every night long, getting in that refrigerator eating something, aren't you? Right? Mm-hmm. Well, this has got to stop. This has got to stop, because there's no need in that.
Whatever you say.
Whatever I say, that's right. Okay, that's good right there. Let's go over here to the tricep machine, and I'll show you the correct way to work your triceps. Come on, let's get huffing. Come on, come on. Come on, you're too slow. Come on. Come on, follow me over to the tricep machine. Come on, let's see if you can get in here. I bet it's going to be tight. Yeah, that's just what I thought. Come on. Here, hold this. Oh, Lord, I'm telling you. I don't know why I'm wasting my time. Okay, put your hands up here. Pull the other one up like this here. Okay, put your hands up like this here. Okay? What you do is you keep your elbows down. Keep your elbows down here and come back. Both of them back at the same time and up. Okay, do 25 reps. What we're working here is a tricep. This part of the arm. See that? See that tricep? Mm-hmm. That's what we're working, okay?
Okay.
Okay, let me see, do 40 of those. Come on. Keep them going and we'll work that tricep. Don't worry about how many I said, just keep doing it. See, that's why you look the way you look, because you argue all the time. You probably argue at your husband when he tells you to get away from the table. You argue with him because you want to stay there and eat, don't you? Right or wrong? And that's why you look like you look. So don't argue with me if you want to, don't waste my time. Come on. Think about what you're doing. Try to lose all that fat. Come on. See, that takes a lot of work. You've got to have pride in yourself. You're not willing to pay the price.
I can't do it anymore.
Okay, that's enough then. That's enough. That's good. Okay. Next, we'll go then do some abdominals on the abdominal machine. You got a long ways to go, honey. A long way.
Can you help me out of this?
No, you got in it. You get out yourself.
Can I do that?
Get your hands off of me, you fat pig. Don't ever put your hands on me. Don't ever let me see you in the gym again, you hog. Come on, keep going. Keep working. Keep working. You want to do it too easy. You want the easy way out. Get off the damn thing. Get off of it. Wasting my time here with you bunch of big, common people. Let me show you how to do it. Look like me. This is what you're supposed to look like if you do it right. This is the right way. Okay, watch. This is how you do it, see? Okay, get on there and do it. You're trying to stop taking the easy way out. Come on. Give me 20 of them. Come on. Come on. No wonder you look the way you look. Come on, you won't pay the price. Come on. Of course, you'll never look like me anyway. Come on. Come on, give me 20 more. 20 more, come on. You're lazy. Yeah, just what I thought. When it gets too tough, what do? You quit. Just like the rest of these people out here, quit. Bunch of quitters. All you people up there, come on, hurry up. This is what you're supposed to look like to have a perfect body. This is what you should look like, and I'm gonna give you a few shots here, okay? Here's the last shot, huh?
Rather narcissistic, Mr. Wonderful, Paul Orndorff, but perhaps with justifiable cause, he is an extraordinary athlete.
Oh, unbelievably dedicated. I mean, there was a message there that showed you, no matter how rude he was, how rough he was in his manner, he's a hard taskmaster, but a dedicated athlete. And the way he has dedicated himself to doing that with his strength, he has dedicated himself to wrestling. No wonder he's at the top of his profession.
Well, there have been many a dedicated athlete, and when we return, ladies and gentlemen, we'll have with us as our guest another dedicated athlete, Salvatore Bellomo. Salvatore Bellomo. Salvatore, welcome to TNT.
Welcome. I'm very happy to be in your show. Thank you very much.
That's a name that obviously rings with a certain amount of flair, wouldn't you say, Lord Alfred Hayes?
Yes, I would say that, and if he was to say it, I'd like to hear him say Salvatore.
Salvatore.
That's very good. Sal, not only, of course, many of you know of Italian extraction, but Mr. Bellomo speaks how many other languages other than English and Italian?
I speak 5 languages altogether.
Obviously puts most of us Americans to shame as far as paling by comparison is concerned, but notwithstanding that, Sal, literally, you've been all over the world with your wrestling career and have been extremely successful. And of course, coming into the World Wrestling Federation, I think that was a big step for you, wasn't it?
Yeah, the biggest step in my life, I think, waiting all the other years with the other country, and when I come in the World Wrestling Federation was the biggest jump, and I'm very proud, I'm very happy on that.
Well, you should be proud of your success, no doubt of that, and your European, more scientific style, I think, has given you a lot of success in the World Wrestling Federation.
Yeah, the wrestling over Europe is more scientific, more acrobatic than American. American like more fighting, and there's, I think, the little problem. The rules a little bit different, but I think I'm going to try to get over on that. I do try to do my best.
It has been somewhat of a difficult job from time to time, I would think, adapting the European style into the American catch-can style, but in a moment, ladies and gentlemen, we'll take you to videotape, as a matter of fact, and we will see Salvatore Bellomo in action. We'll see him adapting his European style.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, the next contest, scheduled for one fall with a 10-minute time limit. Introducing in the corner to my right from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, weighing in at 260 pounds, it is Ron Shaw. And his opponent from Italy, weighing 230 pounds, it is Salvatore Bellomo.
Salvatore Bellomo. A lot of fans about ringside supporting Mr. Bellomo as he sets his sights now on big Ron Shaw. We're set for the action to commence.
Oh, messing with the elbow. Nice maneuver by Salvatore Bellomo. Bellomo back up with the right hand. Bellomo mixing it up fisticuff style now. And Ron Shaw to the buckle. And Bellomo has him right out where he wants. Nice maneuver by Salvatore Bellomo.
Nice standing drop kick on a part of Salvatore Bellomo minutes ago. Followed up with a couple of arm drag takedowns. Flying bear. Bringing Mr. Shaw back into the ring. Hip lock takedown. Salvatore Bellomo, side headlock. Not for long as we see the head scissor applied by Ron Shaw and a kick out by Bellomo. Both men right back to their feet. Bellomo, perhaps a prime example, this capacity crowd looks on, of what leverage can do for you in professional wrestling. Bellomo obviously not gifted with the extraordinary physiques of the Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorffs or the Superfly Jimmy Snukas, but Bellomo takes more than his share of victory home. And one of the reasons, the use of the scientific skill. Look at the suplex there. Well, that's just what you were talking about. Right there, Bellomo using the leverage to his advantage, getting the takedown. And a 2 count had not Mr. Shaw got his leg up on a rope. Perhaps a pinfall. Well, Ron Shaw using his rather sizable long legs to his advantage moments ago. Boy, those are a couple of real good-sized upper thighs. On the native of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Ron Shaw, 262. Over goes Bellomo. Now Shaw asserting himself. Ooh, drops the elbow, appeared in the forehead area. Referee out of position. It appears though it was not going to matter in any event. Shaw did not hook the ankle, however. Uh-oh, we've seen this before. Stretching. Oh, and stretching some more. Bellomo with Ron Shaw in a rather compromising position. That particular move certainly has the potential to tear up a groin muscle or two. For sure. Shaw in a great deal of pain.
Ron Shaw back to his feet now. Salvatore Bellomo whipped to the rope. Shaw greets him with an elbow to the sternum area.
And that one rocks Bellomo.
Ron Shaw building up some momentum, missing with that elbow. Off the rope now, Bellomo over Ron Shaw. Right back, head-on collision, flying body press. Bellomo grabs the leg, hangs on for dear life, and gets the victory.
1, 2, 3, and a very jubilant Salvatore Bellomo with victory here this week, and these fans love it. Salvatore Bellomo, number 1, just some of the graffiti.
Here is the time, 3 minutes and 2 seconds. It is the winner, Salvatore Bellomo.
A very humble young man.
Yes, indeed, humble and without a doubt, one of the fine wrestlers in the World Wrestling Federation. And Sal, we certainly wish you all the luck in the world in your continued efforts in the World Wrestling Federation.
Thank you very much.
In addition, however, to your career inside the ring, outside the ring, Sal, you have any number of unusual hobbies. One of them is shipbuilding, is it not?
Yes, build ship with scrap paper. And right now,
Is that the way that Onassis began his career,
I don't
perhaps?
know if Onassis could be like that, but I used to try to make ships on plastic, but I think it was a challenge enough. And now I have the idea with the papers, and the one I'm doing right now is just with the World Federation magazine. I want just to everything paper come from that magazine, no else, no other magazine. Usually I grab prospectus from the hotels and the programs, but this time I want to try to do just one magazine, pick up all the color for that magazine and all the thing I need for that magazine. And I think it's a big challenge, but I like it.
Well, Lord Alfred Hayes has been taking a look at some of the work of Sal Bellomo, and right now, what do you say? Let's go over and join him. Okay. Lord, what's it look like to you over there?
Wow, very interesting. These tiny little cannons and things. Isn't it difficult to imagine how a wrestler's fingers could make such a delicate object as that? That can't be any longer than ½ an inch long and a quarter of an inch tall.
I use a tweezer for that.
Oh,
you
you
use
do?
a tweezer?
Oh, not for your eyebrows, then, just for the...
There's a little bell.
Yes, it is. That's really nice. You know, I've been to the Louvre in Paris and the Tate Gallery in London, and
There's some cannons.
didn't see any of his work there.
Fabulous. And all of this is from the World Wrestling Federation magazine.
But
You're putting all this
all
together.
the paper,
It's all paper. There's nothing else
Yeah.
but string and paper, right?
String and paper. This is the one I'll look at. I want to see when it's
Turn that round for the camera.
This is the one you're currently working on.
Yes, and everything is on put apart, like the sails. It's made with the magazine, put just like this. The reason is put apart is because the travel, and sometimes I go to the hotel, can I carry two big box? Then I put everything apart, and that's what I get.
That's amazing. That is truly amazing. Where did you learn this craft, Sal?
I just learned this, wasn't too nervous, and the time we always on the road, and sometimes in the hotels watching TV, and I start to turn paper and say, Jesus Christ, I'm trying to do something. And I start to build the ships, and then I try to perfection myself better and better every day.
Well, indeed, we've seen you
Monster's moving.
have been better and better every day in the world of pro wrestling, no doubt of that. And over on the left, is that a ship that you have completed, perhaps?
Yes. This
Should we
is-
take a look at that?
This is one old friend of mine. When I came in the World Federation, I traveled by myself between Los Angeles, New York. I did the trip, and I stopped in Tennessee, and I see the house from Elvis Presley. And this is the only perspective from Elvis Presley magazine.
Is that right? It's amazing.
Explain to you everything, you know. And I buy a tape from Elvis Presley, and I take this as a bottom, everything on paper, string, paper, and glue, and passions, and wheel. You
That's
have a
amazing.
wheel, you got a way. I think this the. And now on this one here,
Yep.
the way I see it, this way I see it is a ship, first class. It had to be first class ship with cannon on top, because we want to be pacific, but we don't want nobody bought us. If somebody want to bought us, we should.
Sal, I'll tell you, we would like very much to follow your progress throughout the entire Tuesday Night Titans. If you would continue your work throughout the rest of the show, we would like to see how much progress you have really made by the end of the show. Would you do that for us?
Yes, I will. Thank you.
Salvatore Bellomo, this is most unusual hobby, Lord. I don't think anyone in pro wrestling has ever had a hobby quite like this.
In fact, you could say his ship's come home. Couldn't you?
Oh,
Not too good?
Oh, my
I'll try
goodness.
better later on.
Well, we'll follow this as we continue with Tuesday Night Titans, and indeed, it looks like we have something here. Small motor coordination, indeed. We'll be back as we continue with Roddy Piper. In a moment, Tuesday Night Titans will take you to Madison Square Garden and witness what should be an extraordinary matchup. Lord Alfred Hayes, Roddy Piper, perhaps as we've never seen him before.
There is always excitement in Excelsius at Madison Square Gardens. Roddy Piper can seem to top anybody. He is so unpredictable. And in this match, was he ever unpredictable? In all his glory, his regalia, what would you say?
Well, indeed. Also in his glory and somewhat of his regalia, Ivan Putski, the Polish power. Let's take you now to Madison Square Garden.
Making his way down to the ring, the Polish power, Ivan Putski. And boy, he looks in great shape.
What is he ever?
This contest scheduled for one fall with a 10-minute time limit. In the ring at this time from Krakow, Poland, 240 pounds, Polish power, Ivan Putski.
Look at the Scottish entourage headed for the ring, Gene.
Making his way to the ring from Glasgow, Scotland, weighing 232 pounds, Roddy Piper.
There's the Rowdy one. He brought everything, the bagpipes, the drums, the whole bit, Gene.
Boy, did he ever. Hot rod. Wait a minute.
Fans didn't know what to make of this, Gene. I didn't know what to make of it either.
I'm impressed, I'll say that.
Went through a lot of expense.
Putski's not going to wait for any formalities such as the taking off of the tilt. Putski wants Piper. That is quite obvious.
Look of disgust on his face. The Rowdy one now back up on the apron.
Sound of the bell, this match obviously is officially underway. Even though indeed it is literally not. A lot of preliminaries, quite typical. Not bad.
He's been working out.
He has. He's put together. He's a world-class wrestler. Make no mistake about it. Native of Glasgow, Scotland. Roddy Piper. Unfortunately,
A little Mexican flair there.
right, yes. Well, he's got a bull in his hands, I'll tell you that. And he's going to have to be more than a matador to deal with the likes of Ivan Putski.
Ivan, very fire pluggish, but a powerhouse.
Putski immediately asserts himself and goes after Piper, and Piper retaliates, and look at what we have got a slugfest on our hands.
Lefts and rights.
What does it say on a marquee outside? Does it say wrestling?
This is a boxing match right now, Gene. Piper heading for higher ground.
Wait a minute, hold on. Piper with a couple of forearms to Putski that have
He
little
didn't
or
even
no
acknowledge
effect.
them, Gene.
Oh, look at that right. Yet another. Yet another. Oh, rake of the eyes. I believe he got... Oh. The damage had been done. That is quite obvious. Look at this.
Putski with that patented side headlock. And then that flurry of short jabs.
Oh, look at a series of rights. Exploding from the Polish power.
Uh-oh, the music's coming up again.
Here we have the bagpipes and Piper's entourage to serve as a source of inspiration, perhaps for him this week in this gigantic World Wrestling Federation event.
Looks to me like Piper's been into his tights, Gene. Putski went down awful quick there.
Oh, look at that shot. Hit like he might have had a prick in his hand. Putski just doesn't go down like that. And another shot out of the side headlock. That rocks Ivan Putski. A boot to the midsection. Another big right. Oh, Putski to the rope.
Outside.
Still on his feet, however.
Being surrounded by the music and the bagpipes and the drums has got to be disconcerting for the Polish power.
Well, indeed it does, but look at him bulk up. Putski certainly is not out of it by any stretch of the imagination. All right, and Putski still on his feet, unbelievably. Oh, and again.
Putski getting hotter every time he gets hit.
And I believe Piper getting more frustrated every time he throws a right. Look at that physical package. Oh, my. Look at him unload.
Oh, Putski nailed the referee.
The referee got it. Oh, did the referee ever get it?
Accidental or deliberate, he just knocked him in the middle of next week. I'm sure that'll be a disqualification, Gene.
For who?
Oh, Ivan Putski hit the referee, Gene.
I don't know if that referee knows who hit him. With the turmoil, with the chaotic state of affairs here at ringside, I'm somewhat biffed as to what exactly is going on.
Well, we'll take a look at the rowdy one. He seems to be happy. Let's find out for sure.
Here we go.
The winner of this bout, as a result of a disqualification, Roddy Piper.
Alfred, not a very popular decision as far as the fans in Madison Square Garden were concerned.
No, I was somewhat surprised myself. I expected Putski to really come out like he did, but then Piper had all that psychic influence of those pipers. He tries every trick in the book, and then he tries some that aren't in the book either.
Well, I think there was some alluding to by Gene Okerlund in Gorilla Monsoon, I believe, to a possible use of something from the tights of Piper. I mean, Putski really went down like a ton of bricks there.
He went down very heavily, and one would suspect that there was something like that. It's open.
Alfred, I believe the mail has again arrived this week.
You have the most irresponsible mailman I've ever seen here. No wonder dogs chase them.
We will look forward to Alfred Hayes reading the mailbag. Comments from you? The fans from all over the entire world, I'm certain, we always look forward to some of the comments read by his lordship. A whole bag full of stuff. Salvatore Bellomo continuing with the TNT shipbuilding project. But you, Lord Alfred Hayes, have a project unto your own, the special mailbag.
I do indeed, still being in one piece, even though the mailman tried to alter that fact. From White Plains, New York, to the TNT program, I have 2 questions I would like to have answers for. 1, is Lou Albano going to manage the Samoans again? After all, they were world champions with him telling them what to do. And 2, will the Hulk ever give a title match to Don Muraco? Now he has the captain behind him, signed Lester Bailey.
Well, I would suspect that Lou Albano was having his problems with the Samoans several weeks ago. It appeared to us, I believe, that the Samoans had something less than high regard for Captain Louis Albano, so I really wonder about that. As far as the Hulk defending his title against Mr. Muraco, I think, at this juncture has a long, hard climb back up to the top rung of the ladder. As you'll recall, Mr. Muraco did not retire in any way, but he decided to, well, return back to his native Sunset Beach, Hawaii, and just take it easy for a while. But I'm sure the Hulk would be looking forward to that.
Was he taking it easy, or was he working out even harder? Perhaps, I don't know.
What don't you have?
Okay, we have from San Diego, California. Dear Vince, some time ago when I was living in California, I used to go to the Olympic in Los Angeles to watch wrestling. Did Hulk Hogan wrestle there about 5 years ago, and is it true he once played lead guitar with his own group? I think he's the greatest ever. Could you show some of his matches on TNT, Lisa Perez?
Well, we may have a surprise for Lisa Perez later on in the show. Hulk plays bass guitar, as a matter of fact, and he's quite an accomplished musician, in addition to obviously being the most accomplished professional wrestler at this juncture.
For me, he is the greatest ever.
Well, I think right now we would like to take this opportunity to introduce to you, ladies and gentlemen, without a doubt, one of the most extraordinary professional wrestlers ever, who now is, without a doubt, one of the great managers in professional wrestling today. It is our pleasure to have with us no less than Mr. Freddie Blassie. Mr. Blassie, we welcome you to TNT.
Have a seat, if you would, please.
One of the things that you have done and continue to do is be one of the more enduring personalities in the World Wrestling Federation. What do you account for that, Mr. Blassie?
Well, I'm clean living at all times. Behave myself. Don't drink, don't smoke. Go to the gym, work out with my men. And I've always had the greatest talent, as you know. And,
a lot of that was God-given talent, was it not?
Maybe with a little bit of his help, but most of it was right here.
Freddie Blassie.
Freddie Blassie. He couldn't have done it without me.
So you're pretty much of a self-made man, then, Mr. Blassie?
That's right. 1,000%. How do you like these little gems that, you got
Blassie,
a big enough camera for this thing
I'm
over
not
here?
too sure that we do, but nonetheless, there's no doubt you're
16 carat.
Holy Toledo, 16 carats. Well, actually, what we would like to do is take you back down memory lane, Mr. Blassie. Your career has been such a long and illustrious one. Let's take you now to videotape, indeed, involving Freddie Blassie, his opponent on this occasion, Baron Leone. I think you'll remember this footage. Let's go now to the videotape, Freddie Blassie in action.
So they start to slug it out here. And it looks like Blassie's doing the better job. Blassie, a wild man here. There with the leg snatch. And a trip for a takedown is caught in the head scissors instead on a smart counter move by Freddie Blassie. Yes, sir, we promised you a great main event here tonight at the Hollywood Legion Stadium. Pile drivers for the head of the Baron. Continental Nobleman is having a rough working over in turn now from Blassie, after trying to soften up Blassie without apparently too much success. Because although Blassie was in a lot of trouble, he has recovered very rapidly here. Baron still in the head scissors, but you see him trying to work on bringing Blassie back into the center of the ring. Gets it 1 count, and then Blassie comes up off the right shoulder. Baron trying to pin, drops him hard. 2 count there, very close to a fall. Well, Blassie now gets the situation under better control, still has his head scissors. Blassie's head scissors is on, but not too tight. I think the Baron may be able to slip it here. Trying to work his way out of it. And trying to punish Blassie at the same time with those feet. Now look out. The Baron's in trouble. He's caught in the head scissors. Blassie is, of course, stretching him with his ankle lock. Almost looks like a contortionist setup here at the moment. Actually, it was 2 men, of course. The Baron comes out of it, comes up with a cross-leg toe hold. Baron Leone with the advantage here. We're 10 minutes into the first round here. Time running out. Baron Leone looking for somewhere to go. Freddie Blassie, he couldn't make it work, and he is out of luck. Baron with the forearm smash, but he's caught in the side headlock, trying to send Blassie to the ropes. Does send him. Watch the rebound. A tackle for the Baron. Look at this Blassie trying to soften up. He's trying the backdrop there. One of his favorites. He's topside for 1 and 2 and 3. And Blassie takes the first fall. Before the first round ended, Freddie Blassie has pinned Baron Michel Leone for the first fall. And, of course, if he gets another fall, he gets the match right then and there. They won't have to wrestle out the remainder of the time.
Vintage Freddie Blassie. What year was that?
1952. You caught me by surprise. I didn't think anyone had that.
Tremendous matchup, Mr. Blassie. Your career, of course, one of the most illustrious. And in your lap, you were holding, I believe, a championship that was retired.
The day I left Southern California and headed east, they retired the title.
What title is it, Mr. Blassie?
Pacific Coast Heavyweight title.
Well, the one title that I think perhaps eluded you, the only one that you wanted, and you never quite got it, was the World Wrestling Federation Championship. Is that not correct?
That's right. I've told you not once, I've told you thousands of times. I wanted that title more than life itself. And I finally got the man to get it for me. I didn't win it myself, unfortunately, but the Iron Sheik did get it for me. And I finally was able to hold the belt and put it around my waist and say it was mine.
We have a little surprise for you. Let's go now to videotape footage of the Iron Sheik.
Suplex coming up. He got that big 305 pounds over and down for the cover. No, he got an arm up. Boy, that was close. Boot to the kidney again. Now he's going for it. Camel clutch coming up. Yes, he's got it.
He's got it. No one has been able to escape that. Look at that. The Sheik really pulling on that chin of the Hulk. The Hulk's got to come out of it. If not, it's over for the Hulk.
This is what did it to Backlund. He's got it on and he's got it applied tight. He's got those fingers interlocked. Only the immense power of the Hulk could save him. He's starting to shake. He's got to reach down inside for that little something extra. Look at, he's powering his way up. He's made it to its knees. That takes the effect away from the hole. Hulk Hogan now stands up with a Sheik and rams him into the top turnbuckle.
Fans are going wild, and I'm so excited. I don't even want to talk. I want to watch the match.
Sheik going up. Hulk Hogan, he drops a big leg on him. He's down for the cover. Hook the leg. 1, 2. He got him.
You don't look too happy, Mr. Blassie.
Well, this is where we were jobbed out of the World Heavyweight title. This man was not supposed to wrestle the Iron Sheik. Bob Backlund was signed, sealed, and delivered. Supposed to have been in that ring, and we did not train for this guy. But I tell you, we're ready for him anytime he puts his John Henry on that contract. The Iron Sheik, I've never seen him so hot. This man he will destroy. The Iron Sheik will destroy Hulk Hogan.
Well, of course, the Iron Sheik doing what you failed to do from a personal standpoint.
Keep saying it. Go ahead. I failed.
No, Mr. Blassie, not necessarily. Obviously, you finally made it to the pinnacle of success in the World Wrestling Federation. As a matter of fact, many consider that's exactly where you are right now. The Iron Sheik, however, it seems to me you're putting all of your eggs in one basket. You're only representing one individual right now, the Iron Sheik. How do you feel about that?
Great. You know, I had a great honor bestowed upon me. While the Iron Sheik was over in Iran, Ayatollah told him, when you go back to America, you tell Mr. Blassie he is now appointed the Ayatollah of America. Now, refer to me as Ayatollah Blassie. Go ahead, sneer about that.
Well, Mr. Blassie, obviously that means a great deal to you. Perhaps it means as much as it would have meant had you won the World Wrestling Federation title. Freddie Blassie, a tremendous career that continues on and on. Mr. Blassie, I wonder, really just exactly where it's going to end.
It's never going to stop, McMahon, let me tell you. It's never going to stop. As long as I'm breathing, I'm going to be creating turmoil, winning titles, and I guarantee you, once again, I'm telling you, the Iron Sheik will once again retain that World Heavyweight title.
Indeed, the Iron Sheik...
What's that?
Mr. Blassie, there's a possibility you've been gonged. I'm not too sure.
Gong? What do you think, this Major Bowes program?
I'm not too sure myself from time to time. Nonetheless, I would suggest that we're probably out of time. Salvatore Bellomo continues to work feverishly away at what I suspect will be the official TNT boat. Well, with us right now, ladies and gentlemen, without a doubt, one of the greatest Japanese wrestlers in World Wrestling Federation history. Many would say perhaps the greatest, joining us, and welcome, Mr. Fuji, to TNT.
Thank you very, very much. But let me tell you, Bellomo-san, what's the matter, you? You only be a boat. Perhaps you have no girlfriend. Perhaps you no go on date. I feel so sorry for you, Bellomo-san. Home every day, build boat. Japanese call sissy.
Mr. Fuji, notwithstanding your remarks directed toward Salvatore Bellomo, let's talk about you. Let's talk about your wrestling career. How do you rank yourself compared to other pro wrestlers in the World Wrestling Federation?
I, Mr. Fuji, is #1 all around the world. #1 Japanese ever come out for Japan. #1 ever come out for Far East.
Well, if we may, let's go to videotape footage and see if we agree with Mr. Fuji. Let's go now.
Yes. In the ring in a moment, Mr. Fuji from Osaka, Japan. Former co-holder of the Tag Team Championship in the World Wrestling Federation on many different occasions, individually every bit successful as he has been in tag team action. Mr. Fuji now ready to lock up with his opponent, Nick DiCarlo. Nick DiCarlo, the veteran in his own right. Mr. DiCarlo
weighing in at 239 pounds from Hamilton, Ontario. Should be an outstanding matchup. As soon as Mr. Fuji has finished going through with his ritual, we shall have some action.
Mr. Fuji now going through with his normal ritual as Mr. Fuji prepares to lock up with Nick DiCarlo. A little obsequious bow there on the part of Mr. Fuji. Now locking up with Nick DiCarlo and, a clean break. A surprise by Mr. Fuji.
DiCarlo all over Mr. Fuji. Fuji getting no sympathy at all from these fans.
DiCarlo did not buy the little story that Mr. Fuji was trying to tell him. Nice little smile, and that's when Mr. Fuji went for that chop, and DiCarlo put the brakes on, really blocked the chop. That took over. Now look at Mr. Fuji. Really sneaky.
I guess he's just about as devious as any pro wrestler has ever been.
Without a doubt.
You look at his face, you know he's guilty of something. Missing, Fuji. Aha, DiCarlo. Continuing now to hammer away on Mr. Fuji. Uh-oh, Fuji for the ride. Really whipped to the buckle. Moving in a little too slow. And Fuji, boy, he at all times knows what he's doing. Slam to the canvas. Fuji, his bonsai maneuver. Ooh, across the chest. 1, 2, and a 3 count.
Mr. Fuji in action there. A very impressive victory, Mr. Fuji.
Thank you very, very much. You see how American put it. There's no chance with Mr. Fuji.
Mr. Fuji, it seemed to me when you were on the rope there, you took an awful chance. Had Mr. DiCarlo recovered and moved out of the way, you would have hurt yourself substantially.
I'm so sorry. When Mr. Fuji applied vicious hold martial art, he's finished. Finished. Because I want him suffer. And he suffer already. And he see daylight when Mr. Fuji come up here. He's like him. Gone. Gone. You see what happened? American. You see? American wrestler suffer.
Alfred Hayes, a comment from you on this vicious nature of Mr. Fuji.
It's always difficult to understand the inscrutable East. But Mr. Fuji, he doesn't seem to be inscrutable. He smiles, he laughs. He enjoys other people's suffering.
Very, very, very true. And because I like Americans suffer. When they suffer, I just giggle. You understand? He makes me so happy. I cannot talk because I'm so happy. When American is screaming, mercy, mercy. I go, But now, Mr. Fuji have big surprise from you.
No,
On our way.
Mr. Fuji, please. Your surprises, under normal circumstances, are unpleasant surprises we have seen in the ring time after time. Most unpleasant.
You'll be very surprised. From rising sun of Japan, I bring to you, all American, the greatest surprise of all. You watch it with eye, please.
Right.
Very good.
Let's go to Mr. Fuji's surprise. Well, Lord Alfred Hayes in the splendor of Mr. Fuji's surprise. And I must say, Mr. Fuji, this is a most unusual setting indeed, even for TNT.
Thank you very, very much. You see, I have been the ordinance to here for you to enjoy the custom of Japanese hospitality.
Well, let's enjoy then.
Please sit down. Please sit down. Please sit down. You and I. This is Japanese custom.
This is
a woman must take shoes off before you enter house, because house must be it's clean, must be also very, very clean.
I
My
understand.
geisha girl here would everything I tell her to do. This is not America. This is Japan.
Very good.
着物着せましょうか。
Very good. Mr. Fuji, this, again, this is most
ちょっ
unusual.
とちょっと待ってね。こう。はいはい。そうですかね。
これ脱いでもらってよ。
Alfred, I can't believe you went through all of this, actually. This
I
is...
couldn't believe it myself. I was absolutely flabbergasted.
Now I get to enter. Is that correct?
Yes. Just a minute. You
お好き
must
かしら。どうでしょう。
Am
サ
I-
イズ合います
put
か。
your hands
Oh.
to sleeve.
Very nice.
サイズはどうかしら。
Good. Very good. はいはいお姉さん何よ。バカね。
はいはいちょっと待ちになってね。
Oh, this is very nice. This is very gorgeous. Thank you very much.
You never say thank you to my lady. You understand? It's honor for her to do this for me and my friends. Do you understand?
Well, I thank
This
you,
is
Mr.
Japanese
Fuji.
custom.
Yes.
This is not American custom.
旅
I
を
must
吐
say.
きましてもう一度お座りになってください。どうぞお座りに
What
なっ
is
て
it now?
旅を吐きましておっしゃってく
I
ださい。
sit down again. All right. Well, again, this is most unusual for me. It may be Japanese custom, but...
You
靴
see.
の上から履けない。脱いでもらってくださる。
You must take off your socks. Because in my country, my women would do anything for.
Well, if you get a shot of those toes, you would believe in the Cro-Magnon era, for sure. I'm not too sure about Japanese custom.
I'm awfully sorry.
Something a little bit humorous, is it, Alfred?
No, it was just the sight of your.
These are the most
understand.
peculiar-looking little socks I have ever seen in my life. There's room. I guess the Japanese socks they have for the big toe, and
I only had one little thing in the
and yes. Sorry about that.
Perhaps, Mr. Hayes-san, you enjoy Japanese custom?
Oh, very nice, thank you, Mr.
Thank you
Fuji.
very, very
nice,
much.
yes.
You enjoy?
It's different, Mr. Fuji. Yes, very much so. It's very different.
Very good. Huh? You see, in my country, it's honor.
It is
For-
it?
Yes, for my woman to do this.
Very
this
good.
is my geisha girl. She do
I don't
anything
think they
for-
make the socks large enough. And
sorry.
はいどうぞ。
It is pretty
上がっ
good.
てもらってください。
Come, you must sit down with me here.
Thank you.
Come along.
Thank you very much.
Please.
Yes,
Please,
Mr. Fuji.
Be seated.
Is there any particular way we do this, or
You
just?
sit down any way you want, cross the leg, and we talk. Hoi! Hey-san. Sake ne.
お酒継ぎましょうか。
Mr. Fuji, I'll tell you,
はい。
I have seen you in the ring, and this is a complete reversal.
どうぞ。
Alfred, I mean,
I can't
he
believe it.
dishes out pain in the ring, and perhaps enjoys dishing it out more than any other competitor in the World Wrestling Federation. But yet,
Dojo.
this
Please
is
pick up
the
glass.
opposite side of
I
that.
have to pick up glass.
Two hand. Yeah. Right.
Are you going to be
Dojo, this is for you.
Very good.
This is sake,
Ah.
made out of rice. It's Japanese great tradition.
That's a. I see you get a
Don't
large
say
one there, Mr.
Pakistan.
Fuji. Look at the size of that dude, would you?
We must drink to all Japanese people and emperor honor.
We
And
do-
honor to American guests.
To all honorable people. all over the
Kanpai,
world.
kanpai.
Very well.
おいしい。おいしい。
Oshire.
おいしい。
Very nice.
あ、very nice。マッサージしてください。
You kanpai, kanpai, ne. Kanpai means drink down the. All of Americans say bottoms up.
Very good. Excellent.
Go. Hey, nani yo?
Mr. Fuji,
please
again,
stop,
can we
stop.
talk about
And
Go, 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 go.
again,
Hey,
unusual.
ande nesta ni bakanene, You're
don't think the Emperor could
fascinated
have
with
any better than
my
this.
Japanese custom?
No, it's Mr.
Please
Fuji.
admire my geisha girl massaging Mr. Fuji, but don't be insulted. It is Japanese custom.
Very well. You know.
It appears they have more customs than anybody else in the world.
Japanese?
Yes.
Well, I can obviously see from this that Mr. Fuji very much enjoys the customs of the Japanese, and I would suspect enjoys the customs of Americans as well, Mr. Fuji. Perhaps the best of both worlds, as it were.
I don't know, because I'd say American have different custom. American have American wife. Say, anything. American husband must do everything for American wife. Huh. It is very difficult. But in Japan, wife do everything for men, and get your girl do anything for me. Wakaro ne? So, oi, sake. Hi. I want you to drink some more, please. Drink. I want you to drink.
I'm not accustomed
No. You drink. You drink. Nani baka dare ne. No. Atama ga nai ne. Nani you suck no. Baka ne. Go. Nani yo. You make me lose. Make me lose face to my American guests.
You didn't lose
These
any
my
face
geisha
to your
girls
American
spill
guests.
sake on
You got
Mr.
me
Fuji.
son of a sake
That
to
is
cry
not
out.
right. That is not right. That is wrong. Because in America, we never do this. You insult me. Master of house and two honorable guests. I feel very insulted. I do not like. So
Mr. Fuji, please.
I will punish her. In my way.
It didn't hurt me. I wasn't hurt. I wasn't insulted, believe me.
Because you don't know the Japanese custom. When women geisha spill sake a man's hand, it's insult. Bad insult. Insult Mr. Fuji do not like to be insulted. You understand?
All right.
Bakane. Nani?
We'll be back, and hopefully we'll be back with Mr. Fuji in a little more calm frame of mind.
Nani?
Salvatore Bellomo is still busy at work building the TNT ship. With us now, however, and having some occasion to calm down, and Mr. Fuji, believe me, as far as Alfred and I are concerned, if in fact you really felt that we were your guest, we in no way are offended over what happened during the entertainment. Please, let's even change the subject. What we would like to speak of now, if we may, is a completely different Mr. Fuji than we have seen in the past. We've seen Mr. Fuji as one of the great wrestlers, and of course that has been documented. But now we're seeing Mr. Fuji in a totally different light, as a manager extraordinaire. Let's take you now to videotape.
Mr. Fuji. And here he is from Sunset Beach, Hawaii, weighing 247 pounds. Here it is, the magnificent Muraco.
Well, I have never ceased to be amazed at some of the tricks that Mr. Fuji can pull out of his hat, and the latest happens to be that man, former Intercontinental Champion, former everything in the World Wrestling Federation, the magnificent one, Don Muraco, 247-pounder, out of Sunset Beach in the 50th state of Hawaii. And Muraco this week setting his sights on 224-pound Billy Travis, native of Lexington, Kentucky. Here we go. Lord Hayes, the magnificent one, is back in action in the World Wrestling Federation.
Well, he never really left us, Gene. He's been out somewhere on that beach, but he gets into the gymnasium every day. He would like people to think that he is just laying about being a surf bum, but he's not. He's dedicated to wrestling. he knows that this is where he makes his fortune. He wants to become the world champion, and look who he's employing to pursue that particular objective.
Well, you've got to be none other than Mr. Fuji.
Right.
A great wrestler in his own right, but as of late, Fuji has been in the role of manager, and it's quite clear Fuji agreeing with the tactics being utilized by the magnificent Don Muraco. Muraco prone, perhaps, Lord Alfred Hayes, to take a hiatus or a sabbatical periodically.
Oh, he likes to do that.
As you say, psychologically, keep people off guard that he's just laying around on the beach, and that, of course, not the case at all. Big forearm.
That's exactly what he wants them to think. And I would...
Oh, what a nasty spill. That's the result. As a magnificent one. Well, you can overhear comments being made by Mr. Fuji. As a pickup, oh, power slam to Billy Travis. 1, 2, oh, he could have pinned him. He could have pinned him, that was quite evident. Fuji saying no, Muraco saying no. Now Travis coming back to the right to the midsection.
He wants to prove to everybody that he's there amongst the top-line contenders for the World Championship. When we use the word manager for Fuji, I think probably instigator would be a better word.
Well, now, Mr. Fuji, you were trying to tell me something moments ago. We asked the question as we were watching the footage, why a manager? Mr. Fuji, you're right in the pinnacle of your wrestling career. Why a manager?
Because you do not know what I'm doing and thinking. Now, I have great one, Muraco. Magnificent Muraco. Number 1, Ichiban. So I want to make lots of American money, buy lots of American property. You understand, boy song?
I think we understand all too well. We'll be back as we continue.
Banzai!
Huge, giant-like Big John stuff. Join us in a moment, ladies and gentlemen, a man who is a giant in his own right. As a matter of fact, perhaps second only to one other athlete in the world today, he could very well be one of the largest and, without a doubt, one of the toughest. At 6 feet, 9 or 10 inches, tipping the scales around the 360-plus pound mark, there's not an ounce of fat on our next guest. We are describing the extraordinary physical prowess of Big John Studd. And indeed, Mr. Studd, one of the premier athletes in the World Wrestling Federation. Mr. Studd, we welcome you to TNT Tuesday Night Titans.
How's it feel to shake a man's hand, huh? The first man you saw all day today, right?
Well, thank you very much for joining us, Big John Studd. With those catcher's mitt hands, unbelievable the size of those paws. Incredible. You wonder if any one man in professional wrestling today can meet you one-on-one with a good chance of winning. What's your reaction?
Well, you know, there's a lot of people out there who want to step in the ring with the Stud because hey, let's face it, I'm the biggest man in wrestling today. And to beat the Stud is like winning the World's Heavyweight Championship. It's something that can't be done. Hey, to slam the Stud, a simple wrestling move, a slam. We see 1,000 slams a night, except when you see John Studd in the ring. I'm doing the slamming. You don't see anybody slam me. You take in a pin. You see a pin every night, but you never see anybody pin John Studd. Yeah, there's a few guys. I have a few opponents out there. Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant, 2 maybe. 2 out of the thousands of wrestlers that I feel are qualified to step in the ring with me.
Well, indeed. There are any number of wrestlers who look forward to stepping into the ring with you, although with some trepidation, no doubt. But right now, we'd like to take you to videotape footage, as a matter of fact. A young man who certainly dares to step into the ring with Big John Studd. Let's take you now to the videotape, and it'll be Big John Studd squaring off against Salvatore Bellomo.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, this contest is set for one fall with a 10-minute time limit. Introducing in the corner to my right from Italy, weighing in at 238 pounds, here is Salvatore Bellomo. And his opponent from Los Angeles, California, weighing in at 430 pounds, it is Big John Studd.
Well, I believe some misinformation on the exact weight of Big John Studd. I know for a fact at the weigh-ins earlier that he tipped the scales at 367 pounds. But that's big enough, considering the man is 6'10".
I think once you get over 300 pounds, it doesn't matter how much you weigh then.
Well, it certainly does as Studd circles the ring and gets ready to do battle with Salvatore Bellomo. Certainly a very capable wrestler in the World Wrestling Federation. A little graffiti, a little signage as Big John Studd gets up on a ring apron. And, oh, take a look at that move. Stepping over the top rope. Not too many men can do that.
Certainly not. Another thing about that weight we were talking about, the weight is all muscle and bone. There's no extra flesh on him.
All right, Salvatore Bellomo certainly having his work cut out for him as he gets ready to do battle with this man, Big John Studd. Here we go.
I got to do some camera for repair.
Well, we've got action in progress. Salvatore Bellomo somewhat mismatched against, well, maybe not, Big John Studd. As Bellomo comes up with the hammer. Oh, and a miss with an elbow. And again, Studd misses. He cannot counter the working scientific knowledge of Salvatore Bellomo. Well, there he does, countering beautifully, doing what a man 6'10", 367 pounds is capable of.
Absolutely right. You know, I have a feeling Bellomo's going the wrong way around to this. He shouldn't talk John Studd. He shouldn't do that.
Well, wait a minute. Let's not underestimate Bellomo. Oh! Look at the strength of Studd. All the way up with an elbow. 1, 2, 3. Well, Big John Studd making relatively quick or short work of Salvatore Bellomo. That man right there from Los Angeles, California, a force to be reckoned with now and for quite some time to come in the World Wrestling Federation. Big John Studd, certainly one of the greats. Let's get our official decision right now.
And here is the winner, Big John Studd.
Big John Studd getting the Duke over Salvatore Bellomo this week in this particular World Wrestling Federation event.
Big John Studd victorious. And I wonder, Mr. Studd, what would have happened in that match had you resorted to just strictly the scientific style of professional wrestling? I wonder if, in fact, you would have been victorious. What's your view of that?
I thought it was scientific. Looked pretty scientific to me. Picked him up, and I threw him across the ring. He landed on his back. I dropped an elbow on him, and that was it. 1, 2, 3. As a matter of fact, he hit the ring so hard, I probably didn't have to drop the elbow, but that was just a little icing. That's something for him to remember me by.
Well, let's... Please, Mr. Bellomo, if we can talk about your career.
That.
I beg your pardon?
I can ignore that. That shows you how big I am.
Well, you are big. You are huge. There's no doubt of that. Your victories, one after another, I think perhaps maybe second only to one other individual, are the most impressive perhaps in professional wrestling. And when we say second only to one other individual, I think you know of whom we speak. He stands 7 feet 4 inches and tips the scales, I think, close to the 500-pound mark now. Andre the Giant.
He's quite a force to be reckoned with, and when I get my hands on him, I feel that I will destroy the myth of Andre the Giant, what they call him, the eighth wonder of the world.
That's right.
He's, sure, he's toppled many opponents, but he's never faced anybody the size of John Studd. You've known him for many years. Have you ever seen him in a ring with somebody? Being that I'm the biggest man in wrestling today, next to Andre the Giant, that's the first time and the only time you'll ever hear me say that.
Well,
he's never stepped in the ring with anybody that can handle himself. He's never stepped in the ring with another big man with my strength. You know, there's a lot of tall men around. There's a lot of heavy men around, but there's very few big men. I mean tall, and I mean built, and I mean men that can lift 550 pounds in the gym any given day. I bet you $1,000. I mean, I bet you $10,000 that Andre the Giant can't bench press as much as I can.
But we're not talking about bench pressing.
Hey, it's important.
Of course, all of the conditioning is important, quickness and all of it. We can go on and on. What we're talking about is wrestling, and Andre the Giant holds one distinction above and beyond you or anyone else, and I would think that maybe it sticks in your craw a little bit. Andre is thus far undefeated.
I said it a few minutes ago. Andre the Giant, I know you're out there. I know you're watching this show. You're probably wondering, what's John Studd doing? How close is he of catching me? How close? I'm speaking to you, Andre. How close am I? Am I around the corner while you're sitting in some bar drinking some fabulous amount of wine that you're famous for drinking, or eating those fabulous quantities of food? Or am I in an arena coming down the road? Or are you sitting in a dressing room wondering if John Studd's in the other dressing room ready to kick down the door and show the world that you're the myth of wrestling? You're not the Giant, that I'm the Giant.
All right, well, you may be the Giant. There's another Giant in a different way. He's not as big as you, but he's the Giant because he's the World Wrestling Federation champion at this moment, Hulk Hogan.
Wow, Hulk Hogan. You know something funny about Hulk Hogan? Everywhere I go, people tell me that they see Hulk Hogan and they make a mistake at first and they think it's me. Then they realize that he's not quite as large as I am. They say, boy, I saw Hulk Hogan the other day, and I thought it was you. Then I looked again, and I realized he's quite a bit smaller than you are. And they tell me, they say, you know, Stud, you're probably the only man alive that can take that belt off of him, you know, and I believe that too. I've watched Hulk Hogan. Did you see how easily he won the World's Heavyweight Championship? Just ripped that belt away from the Iron Sheik.
Well,
he's just got an opportunity that I haven't had.
Scientific skill is very important. Lady luck, certainly very important. A comment, as a matter of fact, made earlier on by Salvatore Bellomo.
Luck has nothing to do with it. If you count on luck, getting anywhere, including you, Bellomo, luck never got, you know what? It was bad luck that got you in the ring with me. Luck gets you nothing. Only thing that gets you somewhere is sweat. Sweat in the gym. And when you step in the gym and you go out there and you sweat for 3 hours and you get in that car or airplane, you get to the next town and you look at across the dressing room and you see that you have to step in a ring with a punk like you that doesn't even belong in wrestling. All you belong is doing these boats. You have no business putting on wrestling shoes. You have no business. In fact, if I ever get you in the ring again, in fact, you guys find some promoter and book this match and he'll never wrestle again and he'll never build a boat again.
Don't ever touch my boat. You have to be lucky.
Yeah, lucky? You tell me what luck has to do with it. The fact that I weigh 365 pounds. You think this is luck? I work to get 365 pounds. I step in the gym every day. I get in the gym and I lift weights. I don't have fat on my body. You hear that? Is that fat?
There's no need to.
That's solid muscle. Something you never had in your life. You were lucky. You were born with a silver spoon in your mouth and you're just sitting in that chair looking good. I had to make my luck.
Mr. Studd, we do not appreciate this intimidation. Nonetheless, obviously, it'll go down in the record as you being one of the great pro wrestlers.
You know what? I'll tell you people someplace, all those people out there, look at those camera crew out there. Every one of them says, boy, you know, if I was only as big as John Studd, I'd probably be out there slapping Vince McMahon or Bellomo or Lord Alfred Hayes. But just goes to show you, they don't have the class that I have. Because I realize by slapping you, it's doing nothing. But slapping Andre the Giant, now that's doing something. Slapping Hulk Hogan. In fact, If you, gentlemen, can get my name in there and get me right in that title shot with him, you'll find out you have a new world's heavyweight champion. How's that grab you?
Mr. Studd, we thank you very much.
Oh, no, he doesn't want to wrestle me. He wants to wrestle somebody like Orndorff or Bobby Backlund maybe, or Jimmy Snuka, or
Thank you very
anybody. He'll wrestle anybody, but he won't wrestle John Studd.
Thank you, Mr. Studd, for joining us. We'll be back.
Studd will rip that belt from around his waist.
We'd like to take you to videotape footage of some of the outstanding stars in the World Wrestling Federation. And the first videotape footage we will show you involves Jesse the Body Ventura, quite an impressive athlete, would you say so?
Oh, I would have to. California seems to be coming forward these days with a lot of good professional wrestlers. They used to be from the East Coast more than the West, but now look at Jesse Ventura. Definitely a challenge for the World Championship.
Let's go to the videotape footage of Jesse the Body Ventura.
Shaw counters with a couple of rights to the midsection. This one to the head. And now Ron Shaw comes to life in this one fall bout. Whipped into the turnbuckles. Shaw asserting himself. Tip of the boot to the midsection, but I believe Jesse Ventura with a shot perhaps to the side of the head. There's a big elbow. And that one found its mark to the jaw of Ron Shaw. And again, that flying forearm or elbow rocks Mr. Shaw into the ropes. Ventura now starting to dominate. I believe he might have went to the throat. He certainly shielded himself from the referee. Fiji on his part, you've got to give him credit for that.
He shielded himself not only from the referee, but from our point of view as well. He's a powerful man, Jesse. Ventura, he doesn't waste too much time with his opponents. If he can get on top of them, he'll beat them as quickly as he can.
Well, Ventura, 271-pounder. But those forearms, those elbows are delivered. Oh, Shaw out through the ropes onto the floor. And Ron Shaw obviously hurt. He took quite a tumble indeed. Coming through the second and third rope. That had to be a good 6 or 7 feet. And then that momentum that carried him out, slammed into the ring apron. Ventura, absolutely merciless when it comes to action in the ring.
Jesse the Body Ventura victorious. And in a moment, we will leave Mr. Ventura as we have now and take you to another extraordinary athlete, and perhaps physique-wise would rival that of the Body, and wrestling-wise also, Rocky Johnson.
Aha, Rocky Johnson. One of the most dedicated professional athletes of all time. Take any sport you care to mention, I don't think you'll find a man who's more dedicated than Rocky Johnson.
Let's go now to the videotape footage of The Rock, Rocky Johnson.
Team of the World Wrestling Federation, and boy, can they play this game rough and tough.
All right, here we go. Rocky in control. Uh-oh. Adrian Adonis off the rope. No, sir. Look at Adrian. Off the rope now, waiting for him. Yes, indeed. Rocky Johnson has slammed down to the canvas.
Oh, no.
Oh, and Atlas lets him have it. Rocky takes him over. Dick Murdoch, certainly not above bending the rules a bit or out and out breaking them if he thinks he can get away with it.
Well, thus far it has been all Johnson. He is totally dominated, even at one point in time, both Murdoch and Adonis.
Of course, that's not a long-lasting situation now. Slammed to the canvas. Nicely done by Adonis, favoring his arm a bit.
Alfred, I wonder what your impression is of the next videotape footage, the principals on that tape, the reigning tag team champions Adonis and Murdoch.
Well, we haven't spoken much to date about tag teams. There are some really good tag teams, but of course, naturally the most impressive are the world champions themselves, Dick Murdoch, Adrian Adonis.
Let's take you now to videotape footage of the reigning World Wrestling Federation Tag Team Champions Adrian Adonis and Dick Murdoch.
And right now, Gurria on the receiving end of punishment from this team of Adonis and Murdoch.
Adonis and Murdoch doing a good job of keeping Mr. Gurria away from tagging Special Delivery Jones. And you can see the big boy from Waxahachie likes to wear him down. 270-pounder all over Tony Gurria. Hoist him back up now. Whip to the ropes. Gurria knocked down by the shoulder block. Off again, Murdoch. Oh, wrapped up abdominal stretch.
All right.
Look at that. Adonis coming in with an elbow smash. Finally, Gurria makes the tag as Dick. Wait, the referee did not see it.
Wait a minute.
Nor did the referee see this. Reason for disqualification here, I think. There's no doubt about it.
You know, Vince McMahon, quite clearly to me, it is just virtually impossible for one referee to handle the team of Adonis and Murdoch.
Clever. And somewhat of a quick count. It looked bad there for Tony Gurria just moments ago.
Tag, Murdoch to Adonis. Flying mare. Oh! Big body splash.
No.
Oh!
Still can't get him. Adonis. Oh, back, Russian. Knee into the inner thigh of Tony.
Adrian Adonis and Dick Murdoch continue as tag team champions. As you said earlier on, Alfred, there are going to be many contenders lining up. I would suspect that Tony Gurria would be one of them with his choice of a tag team partner, considering how many times Mr. Gurria has enjoyed the pleasures of being a co-holder of the tag team title.
We are in a period now when there are many, many teams, but even so, I look at Adonis and Murdoch, and they look like two men who are firmly seated. They have such good team workmanship. Even if you don't agree with their tactics, they're so good.
Not too many would agree, and certainly the competitors whom they face would not agree. We'll be back as we continue with more TNT. Back Tuesday Night Titans, and we wonder the progress that Salvatore Bellomo has made on the special TNT ship. Sal, you going to come up with it? He has been busy as a beaver, has he not, Lord Alfred Hayes? Now, that is terrific. That is really nice.
Without sail?
Let me present you to you this in front of everybody. This is for you when it's be finished.
Oh, that's fabulous. It's not quite finished yet, but you have really been working feverishly, despite, I might add, the fact that you've had verbal threats from Mr. Fuji and physical intimidation, actually, from Big John Studd. And under those working conditions, I think you have performed admirably, Salvatore Bellomo. We wish you all the luck in the world.
Merci.
Much adversity there, but you triumphed. Well done, Salvatore.
Indeed, this is really nice. We hope that all of you at home can take a look at this and share Salvatore's Bellomo special TNT boat. We will return, perhaps with the boat, in 2 weeks' time. Join us.